What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the Pika Papa, and today we're going to be looking at the cards that TCGPlayer has sent us and said, these are the ones that have been growing the most in price on our website over the last 30 days. And TCGPlayer sends this out in an Excel spreadsheet every single month. We do a deep dive into it on this channel every single month, and we just absolutely are continually flabbergasted by these prices that we see. The growth on some of these cards is absolutely nuts, and I can't wait to share it with you because it is going to be just an incredible story to tell. But even before we get into that, the other incredible story, and what I think is really important we should talk about here, is that graph that I have there on the left where you can see January, February, March, April, May, June, and then the numbers associated to the right. What that represents, the numbers represent the number of cards that were on this list in the corresponding month that were older than the Sword and Shield generation. So you see in January that number's 3. That means that there were 3 cards on the list in January that were older than Sword and Shield. So think Sun and Moon, think XY, think Black and White, etc., older than Sword and Shield, right? In February, that number changed to 4. Not a big jump. I mean, that happens, right? It's only 1, not a big deal. But then look what happened in March. It jumped from 4 to 9. That means 9 of the cards in the month of March that had gained the most value on TCGPlayer over the last 30 days were from a generation that was older than Sword and Shield. In April, it held steady at 9. In May last month, it was at 10. And guess what? 10 again. Every single card that has been on this list, provided by TCGPlayer, again, this is their information, like provided by them, have been older than Sword and Shield. And what that shows you is over the last 4 months, how the market has fundamentally shifted from the ultra modern, from the special illustration rares, from the alt arts, like all of these banging cards from Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. The market has totally shifted towards some of these older cards, which is fantastic. A lot of these older cards were very, very undervalued as far as I'm concerned, and they deserve to go up in price. But as they're going up, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet is coming down. And I got a lot of content coming out on this very soon. But you know what I do when I see something like this happens? This means it's a great time to buy Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, right? Like, I have nothing wrong or nothing against buying cards as they're going on the way up. Like, I think it's great to try and coattail on positive momentum. But a lot of these cards at this point, I'm not even touching them. And some of the Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield cards, as far as I'm concerned, are way oversold, and they represent some awesome buying volumes. Now, before we get into this list, I got to tell you what we do here. We also make sure that every card on the list has at least 5 sales. You don't want 1 or 2 sales on TCGPlayer driving the price up. So we make sure that it has at least 5 sales. It's going to be in near mint condition because, hey, that's what we all want. And it had to have a jumping off point of at least $30 at the beginning of that 30-day period because I kind of like the high-end stuff, and I think $30 is a good cutoff. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before I get into the 10 cards that have gained the most value on TCGPlayer over the last 30 days, I got to give my selfish plug. Listen, I don't just try and provide you with these cards. I try and give you insight along the way, like that graph on the left. If you find value in it, if you're having fun along the way, hit the subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. Those 2 small things go a really long way in helping my small channel out, and I really appreciate it. So with that out of the way, let's start looking at these cards because things just get really, really wild right off the bat. Now, not only are we seeing a continuation of the older cards really appreciating in value, but throughout the course of this video, we're going to see more repeats from last month to this month than we have traditionally seen in the past. It is very, very uncommon for a card to be on this list 2 months in a row because think about how much price growth, think about all of the positive momentum a card must be going on for TCGPlayer to call them out as the biggest price gainers of the month 2 months in a row. Well, this Shaymin card right here checks that box. This is a promo card. Now, you might be seeing a lot of that throughout the course of this video. You might be seeing more content from me in the future on promo cards because I still think there's a lot of awesome promo cards out there that have a lot of upside like this one. But take a look. Now, I had to do the 1-year price graph on this just to show you how aggressively this thing has gone up. It is up 238% over the last year. This was a $40 card in July, August, September, really all the way through October, November, December. It started to get a little hot, and then the last 2 months, it is just absolutely shot through the roof. Now, the artwork is amazing. I love the way the colors pop off this card. I love everything about it. I think it is very worthy of a $140 card. However, nobody realized it or recognized that or was at least willing to pay for it up until about 7 months ago. So this is a great example of a promo card that was just floating out there and really had a lot of value to unlock. And here it is, up 238% over the last year. Next card on the list, and another repeat. This is the Zekrom card. And as we talk about on this channel all the time, positive momentum in current sets can drive price appreciation from the older ones. And this is a perfect example. The Zekrom from Black and White set, this is the full art, right? This is the monochromatic colors that we're gonna see in this brand new Black and White rarity set that we're gonna have coming out. So it's really, really cool. And remember the last card that was up over 200%? Well, how about this one, which is up 364% over the last year? This was a $20 card a year ago, and it is sitting at $151 right now. It is just absolutely wild to me. Zekrom is obviously a popular Pokemon. I wouldn't put it at the very top of the list by any stretch of the imagination, but again, because we have a brand new set, Black Bolt and White Flare, that's coming out, because it's going to feature a really awesome Zekrom card, and because the color scheme is somewhat similar, everybody's been piling in on this. So this card is now at $151, which is wild to say out loud. Next card on the list, Giratina from Ancient Origins. Now, when you think about the big sets from the XY era, Ancient Origins is obviously one of them. I also think of Flashfire, right? Like Flashfire is another set from the XY generation that just has a whole ton of awesome cards in it, and the booster boxes are going for a ridiculous amount of money. But if you look at how this card has performed over the last 3 months, not a ton of sales volume, but all of the sales have resulted in higher prices. You're starting to see this card creep up in value, right? It's up 54%. I can't believe I just referred to a card that is up 54% over the last 3 months as creeping up in value. That's just wild to say. That only happens in the Pokemon market right now. But this card, you know, it's got some great artwork on it. Obviously, Giratina, again, you think about it, you got the Giratina, which is in Lost Origin, one of the best chase cards from the Sword and Shield generation. Lots of positive momentum around Giratina as a whole. You also have it from Crown Zenith, right? So people are into Giratina right now, and this card is performing really, really well. Again, up 54% over the last 3 months. Next one on the list, and I absolutely love this card. This is I love everything about it. The stained glass, the legendary birds, you got Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno. Like, this is a stunner of a card. I can't tell you how many copies I have of this because I have loved this card for a long time. I don't know, maybe about 2 years, I got obsessed with buying these sealed promos because remember, this came from an Elite Trainer box, the Hidden Fates version, right? And it came sealed. I have so many of these that are sealed. I didn't even realize it was all the way up to $107 until I pulled this video together. But this just goes to show you, again, there's some really cool promos out there that have been flying under the radar. I mean, this card checks every single box that you could possibly imagine. And it was a $40, $50 card for most of the year. And then over the last month, I'd say 6 weeks, you see that really strong curve up. And now this is another card where you see a lot of sales volume, right? This isn't a onesie twosie like we see in some of these XY era cards. Like, people have been buying this card in volume really for the last 3 months. So up 118.91% over the last 3 months. Stunning card, absolutely love it. I'm very, very happy to see it finally get its due. Next card on the list, Umbreon and Darkrai right here. Now this is an interesting one because not a ton of sales volume, just enough to get it on the list. But what you can see is back on 5/6, there was a pretty decent spike in sales volume, right? You see that there was about 20 of these that were purchased. Now what that probably means is somebody or a group of people went on TCGPlayer.com and bought all of them out in order to reestablish a market price for it in hopes of making some money. And listen, Umbreon has been incredibly hot. If you're going to do it with any card, I think this was the card to do it, and they probably bought it at like the $35, $37 price range. But what's interesting to me is you see how the prices continued to go up since that event. Now, is it going to hold on to it? I don't know. $81 for this card right here. It's a whole lot of money, but it is up 112% over the last 3 months. I think everybody kind of understands the why behind it. And Unified Minds is doing really well. Unified Minds is actually one of my favorite sets from the entire Sun and Moon era. So who knows? Maybe this card can hold on to these really crazy gains. Up $81, up 112% over the last 3 months. Next card. Now this is another repeat from last month and another promo card. Do you see this trend we continue to talk about here? Like, promo cards, undervalued promo cards have just been absolutely popping off here as of late. So this card right here, you got Charizard on it, you got awesome artwork, everybody's having a good time on this card, and it's up 203% over the last 3 months. 203% over a time span of 3 months. This was a $35 card, now it is all the way up to $150 $115. And another one, just like the Umbreon card that we just looked at a minute ago, you see that there was a big spike in sales volume right around 5-6. Somebody probably went on and did the exact same thing, bought this card out, and the price has continued to go up ever since. So I think the artwork is awesome. It's got Charizard on it. Again, you can do far worse than buying anything with the name Charizard on it. So it'll be interesting to see how these promos go, and if it's just a momentary, I don't know, hype around promo cards, or if they're able to hold on to these prices for the long run. Next card, look at this Mew. Now, I know there's a Japanese version of this, which is absolutely driving a lot of collector interest here in the English variant as well. But this card's really cool. I just think the artwork is awesome. I've actually always loved this card. I love the rainbow over top of it. I don't know why. It kind of makes me think of my kids. They're just outside happy, enjoying the sunshine, having a wonderful day. But the card's really cute. And obviously, you can see the other thing that's really cute about it is the up 46.66% in terms of value over the last 3 months. So again, another card, pretty steady sales volume here. Nothing huge, no big spikes or up or down. The highest one I think is 8 or 9 sales over the course of the week. But again, just some real steady price growth really over the last month is when this card has started to appreciate. So it'll be interesting to see. This is another one. It probably has some more room to run in it if I were to guess. And I think it's going to have the opportunity to hang on to a lot of these gains far into the future. Next one, now this is an absolute stunner in terms of artwork. This Mew EX, again, another promo from the XY generation, up 57.66% over the last 3 months. Not a ton of sales volume, but the people who are buying it are paying a premium for it. And you got to remember too, like a lot of these promos, the XY generation was so different than the world we live in now. Like the print runs were incredibly small. The promos weren't quite as coveted as they are today. So to be able to find these cards in any condition isn't the easiest thing to do, but then to be able to find them in near mint or better condition is darn near impossible. So you're going to see fewer sales of this and you're going to see higher premiums paid. Again, another Mew card, which is up 57.66% over the last 3 months. And honestly, I like this artwork a lot better than the last one. It's a super cool card. If you've seen it in person, it really does shine. It's a really stunning card. So very cool to see this card again with such a great, I don't know, 57% jump over the last 3 months. Next card on the list is a card that has been featured a ton. It has been on our movers and shakers list. It has been on this list before. Like, this Pikachu and Zekrom card combines everything that I love in a card, right? First off, it's a promo. Obviously, I love promo cards. Second off, I love Pikachu, hence Pika Pika Papa, right? And the other thing is you have a wildly popular Pokemon in Pikachu with Zekrom, which, as we said earlier, thanks to Black Bolt, the sub-series that's going to be coming out in Black Bolt and White Flare, there's tons of positive market momentum around Zekrom. So you combine all of those things into this right here, and I mean, you just got a banging card. Not to mention it came from a tin, right? The original tins that this came out in actually had tag team booster packs in it. And tag team booster packs are going for, I don't know, like $100 right now. It's absolutely wild. So lots of good stuff going on. And again, over the last year, it's wild. It's up 419%. I don't even know how to say that. It's up 419% over the last year. This was a card which was in the $20 range just a short year ago, and now it is going for $141 market price at TCGPlayer with tons of sales volume. Look at those blue bar graphs that are going up and down. Like, this isn't onesie twosies. People are actually paying $141 for this card now, where a year ago people were picking them up again in volume in the $20 range. Just goes to show you how quickly these cards can move and how some undervalued promos can be unlocked in the future for a lot of big price gains. Now, the final card on the list, and I purposefully saved this one because you know it is one of my absolute favorite cards. You know, outside of Pikachu, my favorite Pokemon is Gengar, and my wife's favorite one is Mimikyu, so you combine both of them. It makes me love this card and all of the other variants that are in the team up set. But this one's really cool. You know, again, you're seeing some pretty positive sales volume, not a ton, but again, you're talking about almost $200 card right here. It's up 57% over the last 3 months. Everything in team up is just so hot right now. And when you think about team up, you got to understand, like in the Sun and Moon era, the tag team sets were absolutely fire. But then you combine the fact that team up was underprinted compared to its peers. It's like the Pokemon Company did one really solid run of team up, and then they just kind of forgot about it. They started printing everything else, and it was like a year or 2 years later, all of a sudden they look back and they're like, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to print more team up, which is why booster boxes are so incredibly expensive and all of these singles cards are popping off in price. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on in that set, including the fact that you got beautiful cards like this in it. So that's it. Those are the 10 cards that have gained most in value on TCGPlayer over the last month. Again, it's going to be fascinating to see how long the market continues to focus on these older generations versus these undervalued, as far as I'm concerned, or at least fairly priced cards in Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Most importantly, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And if you did, give us a thumbs up or hit that subscribe button. Those two small things go a long way in helping my small channel out. And I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.